Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to be working on lesson 26. Lesson 26. We have a brand new story called The Dot. The Dot is one of my favorite stories that we read the whole year. I always look forward to it. Can't wait to share it with you. We're learning about words to know. Our first word is the word teacher. Teacher. The art teacher shows how to use a brush. You look at the picture, you see the teacher showing the little girl how to use the brush. Number 2, the word is studied. Studied. She studied the flower before she drew it. So it's not like studying like a book, but she is looking closely, which is the word studying means. She's looking closely at the flowers. She's using a magnifying glass if you look at her. Number 3 is surprised. Surprised. He was surprised to see such a big statue. Wonder what he's looking at here, huh? Maybe the Statue of Liberty. That's a big statue. Number 4, the word is toward. Toward. He walked slowly toward the art table. To walk toward something is to walk in the direction of that thing, okay? Number 5, the word is bear. Bear. The picture of the bear looks very real. That does look like a real bear there. Number 6, the word is above. Above. These shapes hang high above the floor. So it looks like they're in an art museum. Above is up on top, right? Like the clouds are above us, the sky is above us. Number 7, the word is even. Even. This box has even more crayons in it. Let's look at the small box, the big box. Yes, this one has even more crayons in it. Number 8, the word is pushed. He pushed the clay into new shapes. Kind of like you push a door, right? But we don't push our friends, right? No, that's not something Jesus would do. Now on page 12, we're going to talk about our new target skill for this week, which is comparing and contrasting. As you read, ask yourself how things are alike and different. Good readers use text evidence to compare and contrast characters, settings, or events. To understand a story better, use a diagram to show how two things are alike and different. So I filled this in for you. Yours doesn't look that way. But if you remember, this diagram, you've seen it before. It's called a Venn diagram, right? And in the highlighted area here in the middle, it shows what is the same when you are comparing two things. The area that the two ovals meet in the middle is the same, which means to compare. And up over on the sides, on this side here and on this side here, it shows how they are different, how they are different. And that is, another word for different is contrast. So it's the first grade word, the big word. I know that in the class we had done something similar where we compared boys and girls, right? And however they're different, we write here on the side how they're different. And in the middle, we would write how they are the same. Moving on, the next thing that we're going to talk about is our target strategy, monitor and clarify. It says, if a part doesn't make sense, reread it, ask and answer questions about it, and use the pictures for help. If you're reading a story and you don't understand something, what monitor and clarify says, look around for picture clues. Reread it. Did I read something wrong? Maybe try to figure out what a word means. And if you still can't figure it out, then you ask questions about it. You can ask your partner, your teacher, if you're in school or we're in a Zoom session, or if you are at home with your parents, ask questions about it. Don't just stay wondering, I don't get that, but let's move on. No, figure it out. Preview the topic, visual arts. There are many ways to make art. You can use crayons or markers to draw. You can paint a picture. You could cut shapes out of paper and glue them together. A computer can be used to draw and find pictures for artwork. You will find out how one girl makes art in the dot. You recently made some art when you did your timelines, right? You cut out paper, you put them in your whatever it is that you used. Some of you guys made it all on the computer. So you use different ways to make an assignment. You guys did great, by the way. We're going to begin reading our new story. It's called The Dot. The genre, or the type of story that we're reading today, is called realistic fiction. And that is a story that could happen in real life. As you read, look for characters who act as real people do and events that could happen in real life. So, we've had several stories like this. Realistic fiction is a story. The word fiction is fake, it didn't happen, but it could happen. It has characters and things that could make it happen in real life. Let's meet the author and illustrator. So he wrote it and he made all of the artwork you see. His name is Peter H. Reynolds, and there's a picture of Peter Reynolds up here. It says, it took Peter H. Reynolds a year and a half to write The Dot. He named his character Vashti after a young girl he met at a coffee shop. Mr. Reynolds wrote Ish as a follow-up book to The Dot. So he made another great book. Let's begin now reading our story. It's called The Dot. And as you can tell, it looks like a girl, right? And she's painting something. She's got a big brush up on the top, and you could tell there's paint splattered on the floor, right? Let's think about that when we read the story, the essential question. What are some different ways to make art? I know we've learned several in our art class. Let's explore some more while we read the story. It says, art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Analyze the text, figurative language. What does being glued to your chair mean? Do you think she actually had glue there? That's why she can't get up? Look at her, what we call body language. She's really mad. And she has a blank piece of paper because our class is over and it's empty. So what does that mean? She couldn't do what she wanted to do in art class or was told to do. She's very upset. The next page, Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. Ah, a polar bear in a snowstorm, she said. Very funny, said Vashti. I just can't draw. And look at the picture, right? Look at here. This is what the teacher is looking at. And I think the teacher's just trying to be very nice with her. Obviously, she wrote nothing in the paper. The teacher tried to make her feel better by trying to tell her, oh, look, a polar bear in a snowstorm. Why? Because if you think about a polar bear, it's white. If it's in a snowstorm and it's white too, you can't see it. So it's all white. So again, the teacher is being very nice and trying to make her feel better. Let's see if it helps. Her teacher smiled. Just make a mark and see where it takes you. She's trying to inspire her. Don't give up. Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good strong jab. There. She got the paper and she went boom, right on the paper, right? One dot or one stab at the paper. And you could tell by the way they drew this picture, by her face, by the red colors that they used, that she looks very what? Does she look happy to you? Yeah, no, she looks very angry. Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper toward Vashti and quietly said, now sign it. Vashti thought for a moment. Well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name. So you see her here signing her name at the bottom, Vashti. Does she look happy to you still? No, she's kind of sad still, right? Look at the drawing. She looks sad. But what did she draw in the middle? What is that? A dot. The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot she had drawn, her dot, all framed in swirly gold. Can you imagine you walk into your teacher's class, your art class, and there you see your dot with your name on it, and it's in a big, beautiful picture frame? What would you feel about it? Hmm, I can make a better dot than that. She opened her never before used set of watercolors and set to work. So she's actually upset. Look at the picture, right? Look at her body language. She's mad. Vashti painted and painted a red dot, a purple dot, a yellow dot, a blue dot. The blue mixed with the yellow. She discovered that she could make a green dot. Vashti kept experimenting, lots of little dots in many colors. Look at all the dots she made. Amazing, right? She even started to mix them. And you could start to see from this picture that she looks a little happier, right? If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. Vashti splashed her colors with a bigger brush on bigger paper to make bigger dots. Look at all the dots she's making now, right? Look at this, dot, 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 dot. And she's doing different things with the dots. She's getting creative. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. What do you think they mean by that? Look at this picture, right? So she made all these dots around it. And look, she left a white part in the middle in the shape of a what? A dot. At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite a splash. Look at all her dots on paintings. Isn't that amazing? So the one little dot, she started to do creative things with it. Look how beautiful it looks. You can't give up. You gotta keep trying sometimes. Compare and contrast. Does Vashti have a different feeling about her dot now? Explain. Do you think she has a different feeling than before? I think so. I think she's proud of her dots. She's got them all in the art show. She's got a whole wall. And look at everyone's face when they see it, right? They're all smiling. They're pretty. Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. You're a really great artist. I wish I could draw, he said. I bet you can, said Vashti. Me? No, not me. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. So he's saying that he's so bad at drawing that he can't even use a ruler to make a straight line because he can't even make it work that way. And he is amazed. Look at his face. He's looking up at her thinking, wow, you are amazing. Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. Show me. The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle. And then she said, so this is the squiggle line right here. She was like, uh-oh. Sign it. And she tells the boy here to sign at the bottom. So what does she do for him? Just like the art teacher did for her. She gave him a chance, right? And she's like, you can make art too. If I can, you can too. And that's the end. I hope you enjoyed the story, The Dot.